This old fireplace is covered history classes, students with their textbooks, radio frequencies, unclear. It looks like a car. You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to looks like a surveillance program. Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people. Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks... There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages. Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures, translucent Welkins. Who are all those creatures? You should adopt one of the Welkins, towering among the rest. Appears to be... Your eyes glide over the photo entire... You see, albeit darkened, a pinned postcard. This mini-me stands for... As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the... There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does. Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring crime fiction is a disgrace. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually... Furthermore, they have no idea how hard it is. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction, you see Dick Mullen on the job. Get me Mullen. The stalwart adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the murder in the orchard. The sordid affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the murder house. The final case of Dick Mullen. An obvious lie. Dick Mullen in the clock tower. Yes, there's also the dame who did it. Farewell, my Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The morbid tales of Dick Mullen. A dark tide turns. Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen. another one with fake death, and, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen? The display rack is brimming with mountains of it. Heroic quantities of Heimdall. Roy's puny shirt is nothing compared to the real deal. Mountains of it. Rows and rows of Heimdall men, blurry of maybe 100. Man from Heimdall and the sages at the end of the world. Man from Heimdall and the false god. Man from Heimdall and the scorched earth. Man from Heimdall, the Heimdall colonies. Man from Heimdall and the swamp beast. Man from Heimdall and the snow crabs. Those snow crabs are worst, not even close. Man from Heimdall in hell. Man from Heimdall and the forest of slaves. Man from Heimdall under the lake. Man from Heimdall, Heimdall burning. There's even The Trial of Death, a pastoral combat gamebook set in the world of Heimdall man, and so much more. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
She's not even asking you anything.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling.
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this, to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun? Well, maybe he's not as helpful as you thought then. Is there anything else? Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later, should something come up. This reality.
Yes, reality is your side case.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
Are they now?
A deep synthesis. I'll assist you however I can then. Go ahead. Ask.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
We're in Martinez, baby. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed. Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. I would be happy to. What is it? These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late. For the big time.
The smile of a predator. No doubt what she's got in mind.
All men are predators, dear. Nothing much to be done about that. It's all a matter of where you get to file your teeth. The revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle. The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved. It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. It made people overthrow their governments. Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark. From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end. Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations, and you, of course, the citizens' militia. The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Time flies. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere. Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else...
She's one of them, of course.
to foreign intervention, the Coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. The Coalition of Nations, Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay, the arms center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do. The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol, and also the world. These guys are strong.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
An almost endearingly moralist standpoint. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work. Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. Yes, the Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. Yes, King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. What is the expression? Went down? Anyway, Gil got out alive and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time. Good question. What would you have done differently? And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here, during the beachhead, defending the coast the day the Coalition took the city. No, almost certainly. The Commune would have forced you. Such was the fate of the undecided. They picked the winning side. That's why they're here. And others are not. Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom. I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. Perhaps it's better I was born when I was. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company. They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there...
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor, a devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
It's sharp.
Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp, one of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. We surrendered the nation to financial colonists. No saint person identifies as an ultra anymore. Not in broad daylight. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you repulsed?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Beneath her waterproof raincoat and silk shirt is a body imbibed in numb 12 perfume. You are suddenly and intimately aware of it.
I hope we are able to continue as friends despite my scaly bulk and the treacheries committed by my people against the suzerain and the commune. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed. With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinaise a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinaise, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either, if not for my own sake. Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes, an oil fire on the ocean.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You're no dummy yourself.
A smart boy getting smarter, one basic term of reality at a time. Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality? A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea. Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. Of course. Ask me anything.
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality. A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway.
Glad to have been of assistance. A little bit more lessons in basic reality. Glad to have been of assistance.
Officer, the mere sight of police in Martinez makes me feel safer already.
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal instincts. Feels like being on recon again. Ah, yes!
Oh,
A superpower! Feared and decisively. Without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood. Revachol would be a different place if more people realized that. We could still be the...
don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
The Carabinier doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates unbreakable resolve.
Right. Ah, yes!
Oh,
A superpower! Feared and respected decisively. Without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail, and Elysium is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such madness to try to...
don't get started on that again.
The Carabinier.
Right. Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game. I do.
Heavy artillery.
Why what? Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slot. Sadly, should have...
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
This place is a damn beachhead, son. They had to soften the commies up first. Yes. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in... This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René.
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs. Yes, damn it. I know.
He approves of this radical approach, knows it was necessary.
The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course they still hold influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players on the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
They're not. And I'm sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fight, I would have preferred if they right instead. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is a true king.
Exiled, Joyce said Guillaume ran and his nephew, Frisson, was shot in his place.
This is communard propaganda. Guillaume would never do something like that. He is Le Lion. The suzerain is... It's no use. Yes, I do.
Heavy.
Why what? Because that's what happens. Fine. What do you want now?
Oh,
A super decisively. You haven't lived.
and the what?
The Carabinier doesn't
Right. Unfortunately, in Martin Cop is a... But if I knew, I would...
'Tis true, sire.
looking for something, Rod? Come to tell me to fuck off again? No,
He's got a smoke right there in his fucking hand.
can't have it. Evidence of what? I haven't done anything. I bet. Sorry I couldn't be of any help.
To the left of... A colourful display of cigarettes and...
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. The pale age vodka is special, I guess. It's stored in pale for a couple of years, which makes it super expensive and super strong. You know.
Don't worry your pretty little head about it. Let's concentrate on what's important here.
I mean, I already said it'd hurt you. I don't know what else they do.
Substances give powerful bonuses to your main stats at the cost of damage to your health or morale. Cigarettes raise your intellect while damaging your health. Alcohol raises physique while damaging your morale. Use medication, like Nosifed and magnesium, to counteract the negative effects of substance.
No, Frit only sells legal drugs, like the law says.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles. The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals...
No. You need tear to use the tear machine.
Descent has temporarily halted racists.
He must think redheads are...
I am not.
True. That is a noble cranium. But you got a hard noggin yourself.
Your silence betrays your inferiority. You do not have a reply.
I think this racist is better than the last. But the next racist will be the really good one.
That is understandable. The previous racist was probably an Occidental.
These cops are just jealous, Jean-Luc.
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got Mr. Claire also to serve jam. Individual offshoot. I am not surprised.
Measurehead stoically looks to...
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you? Los Ardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high, they're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. The mercenary, eh?
The man whispers.
Right to work! Right to work! Sure! Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly, and
I have a question. Why do all these men?
you think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market. The rule. When a bunch of ungrateful beats me,
When the man moves around, there's something odd in the way he... Fine. It was probably nothing.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments.
economical, but also the shine on these
These are those UV sticks.
These are all first-rate sunglasses.
The speakers below are a pair of Faun Ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette with a...
Those sneakers, mister.
Only? That's madness. These once respectable speakers have been...
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the... Then look at them again. These are the...
These once respectable...
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. These, officer? These speakers are Samaran garbage. I'm ashamed to even use them for props. Don't waste your time on them.
Samaran trash. That sound...
No way, officer! These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist... No, officer. You're a high-class policeman who accepts nothing less than the best. Lucky for you, I've got the best on sale. You do, officer, you do. Remember, we don't have to resort to socialism. We can have nice things too. At socialist prices. The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lot.
These are... Those UV...
These are all fur.